I don't think Darryl was bang on this year. I don't think it was his best year of coaching, but I also know Darryl wants to win as much as anyone I've ever
Oh,
met. So when you're
absolutely.
not having success and he's continuing to do things that I questioned and lots of
Mhm,
people questioned, it's
mhm.
not because he's an idiot.
Nope,
He's
nope.
he sees it as well. The results aren't there, yet I'm going to stick with that's not who he is. It's not a and yes, he's stubborn and you can have that trend in them, but he's a results oriented person. He wants wins and success
Mhm,
and he wants it
mhm.
done a certain way. And if it's not done, my point being, I don't, there's more to this story than just a simple Daryl's lost it and he's too dumb to coach now.
Yeah, and I would never say Daryl's too dumb to coach. I wouldn't say that at all. He might be too stubborn to work with the modern player. Is that fair?
Mhm. That is definitely a possibility, and it's a philosophy that he has.
Yep,
Yet, Walker Duer came in and had success. And Manjapani, who to me was still a young guy last year, had good
yep,
success.
yep.
So I agree with you. I don't think he opens the pearly gates to allow the young kids to walk through and just hand them,
No, no.
ice time. That is an earned philosophy for Darryl. But I
But
also
not
don't
all
think he
players are the
shuts the
same
I
either,
don't
right?
no, and I don't think he shuts the door, uh, foolishly on someone that might contribute to victories for his team.
So, okay, and this is great then. Let's talk about, and I say this ad nauseum all the time. The one frustration I had this year was Matthew Phillips. When you look at all the numbers, right? 24 overtime shootout games, 32 one goal losses. He was given 2 games, never to be heard from again. My understanding of Darryl, and you played for him, you worked for him too. So you have a couple of different insights on Darryl. But my understanding of Darryl is Darryl was never one to believe that a player is developed at the NHL level. The player gets developed at the American Hockey League level, and then he comes to the NHL. And I was just a little frustrated that I thought Matt Phillips, and it's easy. Hindsight, I get that. But I thought he should have spent more time and tried to develop that player.
I would say that's his one greatest weakness,
Okay.
and I would say that I agree with you, and I and that's the thing. Like I think when I respond with some of these points and texts or conversation, people are thinking that I'm trying to stand up for Darryl. I don't need to stand up for Darryl. Darryl can stand on his own 2 feet. He's got more victories and success than I can dream
Mm-hmm.
of. So
Mm-hmm.
he don't need me to answer for him.
No.
All I
No.
say is there's a. It ain't just the coach. There was a bunch of
No.
players on that ice that weren't getting things done. Now, I think Daryl's missing. And I go back to 3 or 4. We go to the finals. There's a lockout, and the next year, Daryl believes, or at the time, held the belief that we didn't win the Stanley Cup because we were too young.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
went and got older. He
Yep.
brought in guys, veteran
Aaron
guys,
McCarty.
older
Yep.
guys, finish wrapping up career kind of guys. And
Yep.
again, not a knock against any of them. We got great teammates and great people. But I think in today's world, the
Mm-hmm.
answer to your problems as a franchise in general is having young kids coming
Yep.
up playing important roles and giving
And
them the
producing
opportunity to do that. And
and
and, and
producing
I
on young
think
early
today,
contracts, right?
yes, and I think today's kids are groomed to do it at a younger age. I don't think they need years in the minors anymore. Is it the end of the world if they go down there and play? Absolutely not. But I
No.
think kids spend to the I think almost too much time preparing professionally. Going to the NHL for a kid nowadays is great. It's the NHL and there's nothing better. But they aren't wowed by private jets hardly. They aren't wowed that they're getting fed meals. They aren't wowed by the dressing rooms. They aren't wowed by the buildings. Go play in North Dakota in college and tell me that there's a nicer arena than that. These kids nowadays are
Yep.
groomed from the age of 15 on
Yep.
to be able to none of this is a big deal for them.
Yep.
And again, it's a big deal for them because it's the NHL. I'm not taking away. I'm just saying that when it came from Saskatoon, we had to push the effing bus in a snowstorm to get it to the rink. That shit ain't happening now.
And then where did you play the next year? And then where did you play the next year? Right? Palm trees.
Yes. Right? Yes.
There's a great story. I think I was on the bus one day with Dion, and he points, he goes, that's a palm tree. He'd never seen a palm tree before. He was in awe of a palm tree. Right?
100%. I remember landing in Florida. But today's kids don't. Again, it's not a negative. If they do go play in the minors for a year or two, improve and earn, I'm good with that. But don't hold them back just on a philosophy.